Hey guys, Raj Sanga of Cardi Security. Welcome to another episode of Raj's Garage. Today's episode, we will be revealing two hot hatches that I purchased recently. So sit back and hopefully you'll enjoy this episode. Right, before I reveal the cars, I've got to say this is the first time in my life I've bought not just one, but two cars without physically going to see the cars. Due to their location in the UK and also timing, just so busy at Cardi Security, I couldn't go and view the cars. I'd normally take Jay or Palm with me. Again, couldn't take them because I didn't go to view the cars. I'll go into that shortly. So let's start with the first car, this one here. And it's pretty cool actually. So this is a 2005 Renault Clio V6. Why a Clio V6? Well, I wasn't looking for a Clio V6, not actively anyway, just watching the market, gauging where the prices were going. This car was offered to me by a friend, Amar. Thank you very much. It wasn't up for sale anywhere. So it wasn't on any website, auction site, Facebook marketplace, nowhere. So Amar reached out to me and said, are you interested in a Clio V6? We got talking, threw out some pictures and mentioned a number that the seller would be happy with, which I, at that time, felt was below market value. The car was also in Edinburgh, so I was like, dude, how am I going to get from London to Edinburgh? This is November, got so much going on, just not going to be possible. So thinking, who do I know in Scotland? There's only one guy that I know in Scotland, and that is Steve Fraser, S30 BMX. So called him up, Steve, what are you doing? I need your help. Can you go and check out a car for me? Now, those of you who know Steve are thinking, you actually asked Steve to go and check out a car for you? Are you crazy? Well, I had no other option, so I had to reach out to Steve. Steve went on a Sunday, liaised with the seller directly, went on a Sunday, FaceTimes me, I'm at the airport, just about to come back and said, look, I've checked the car over, the car's fine, the seller's cool, the paperwork's all authentic, the car is what it is. All the bits and pieces that you've mentioned to look at, I've checked those over and the car's fine. So obviously on Steve's say-so, I did the deal. Although I'm taking the mick out of our good friend Steve, he did a fantastic job. And you know what? Best thing, he didn't even charge me anything. So yeah, you are a top fellow, Steve. The deal was actually brokered by a gentleman called Arj of Adamo Exchange. Fantastic service from those guys. There was some finance outstanding, so I had to clear the finance direct with the finance company. Obviously did a HPI check and so on. I also spoke to another couple of guys who are sort of in the Clio V6 world, and they told me bits and pieces to check out, which I'll go over shortly. And finally, Arj also agreed to trailer the car down within the deal from Edinburgh all the way down to Hayes, West London, and that was handled by Jason of JK Movements and Detailing. He did a fantastic job. I think he left Friday morning early, and Friday 11 o'clock he was with us in Hayes. I think he had another chap with him as well to cover half the journey. So thank you, Arj, thank you, Jason, and you know what, thanks again, Steve. You are a top bloke. Don't listen to all those haters. You are a top bloke. This is a phase 2 Clio V6, mid-engined. What? Yes, the engine is not in the front. The engine is here, in the back where the rear seats would be. 3-litre V6, pushing out 255 brake horsepower, rear wheel drive, and good for 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds. So it's actually pretty quick as well. The front of the car is based on the Clio 172. and the rear is all new to house the V6 engine. Phase 1 cars, which came out in, I believe, 2001 or 2000, there were 1,513 Phase 1 cars and 250 right-hand drive, only 256, sorry, right-hand drive cars, all in iceberg silver. The Phase 2 cars, developed by TWR, designed and hand-built by Renault Sport in Dieppe, France. They've got an updated engine, more power, it's got a wider track, longer wheelbase, reworked suspension, bigger air intakes, and so on. Talking about the engine, let's show you where it sits. So it sits there underneath this sort of plastic housing. Let me remove that and I'll show you the engine. There is your 3-litre Renault Sport V6 engine. This is a Phase 2 car, as I've already said. There were 1,309 Phase 2 cars made worldwide. This is car number 294 of 354 that were delivered to the UK right-hand drive cars. Phase 2, there are actually 10 different colours. Iceberg silver, liquid yellow, Mars red, black gold. This is actually called Iliad blue. It's the most popular of the Phase 2 colours, and they made 191 of the Iliad blues in right-hand drive. Right, that's enough of all that technical jargon, mumbo jumbo. And you know what? In the new year, I'll get out in this car and we'll talk about the way the car looks, the stance, how it drives, and so on. I'm actually not going to drive it now until probably February, March, because obviously all the salt and the grit on the road, just don't want to destroy this car. Let's talk about this particular car. This is a 5-owner car covering only 44,000 miles. Credit to all the previous owners because they've looked after this car. You can see it's really been cherished. And actually the service file that I got with this car, loads of stamps in the service book, loads of history with the car, keys, blah, blah, blah. So it's been looked after really well. Colin ensured before he bought the car, Colin's the previous owner, that he had the cam belt service. So the cam belt service was only done in 2020. Now, that is one of the most important things I've been told on this car. Make sure the cam belt service has been done, because to do the cam belt service, the engine has to be dropped. So it's not a cheap exercise. This has had that cam belt service. Loads of other service history with it, as I've mentioned. Paintwork wise, very, very good. I think previously, before Colin, someone's touched up the front. These are prone to getting stone chips, just the way the front is designed. So the front had a blowover, and there's a couple of dents on either side, very small parking dents, which I'm going to get obviously rectified. But the actual Iliad blue paintwork, it pops. You know, I love the color with the side air intakes in gray, the wheels, the stance absolutely looks fantastic. From the outside, it doesn't look like a Clio. Okay, there's a Clio silhouette there, but you know, the body kit, the stance, the arches and so on, doesn't really look like a Clio. Maybe a Clio on steroids. But when you get inside, it is very much a Clio. Clio seats, the Renault Sport seats. The steering wheel's been changed, but I've got the original steering wheel. And one thing you do notice is this massive gap between the pillar here and the sort of external part of the car where you have to step over. Obviously that's where the body kit sits. So what's in the front where the engine would normally be on a Clio? Loads of plastic. Needs a bit of a clean. There's some space there for your shopping or some travel bag or whatever, but you know what? There's no space in the back. There's hardly any space in the front. This car wasn't really designed for you to go and get your shopping and go on a holiday. It was designed to beat the crap out of it, which I will do at some point. So what are the plans with this car? Well, one of the wheels needs refurbishing, so over winter I'll get the wheel refurbished. Probably going to lower it a touch, you know, coilover suspension, KW or Koni, whatever. We'll look into that, lower it a touch. Maybe space the wheels out just to give you that sort of even more aggressive stance. Not that it's, you know, already very aggressive. It needs a good detail, a good mop, a good polish. I'll wait till probably next year, February, March, and get that done and enjoy the car. So yeah, there you have it. The first of the two reveals, a 2005 Renault Clio V6. What do you think? In fact, did you guess it was a Clio V6? This car also has zero security, so no doubt we'll add a Clifford Concept 650 alarm and a tracker to protect the vehicle. So that's one car covered. I did say in my previous Raj's Garage episode that both cars are from the same brand. So obviously this has to be a Renault, same manufacturer. It's a lot smaller than the Clio V6. It's older than the Clio V6. So it's either going to be a Clio 172 or a Williams or a Renault 5 GT Turbo maybe. Well, there you go. It's a Renault 5 GT Turbo. So another car that I purchased blind, more or less. This car was in Yorkshire and I just did not have the time to go and check this car over. Been looking for a Renault 5 GT Turbo for best part of nearly a year. To add to the collection, but more so for the business to use as a marketing tool for the new showroom. So those of you who have been to the new showroom, you will see that we've got my Mark II 16 valve Golf and my Pug 20519 on the mezzanine floor. They've been up there since April. The plan was to every year change the two cars that are on the mezzanine floor. So this year we went with hot hatches, normally aspirated, and in 22 we want to go with hot hatches which are turbo. So we've got the first one of those two hot hatches here. I'll explain in a minute what the other hot hatch is, what I'm looking for. So looking for a while, went to see a couple of cars. One was really bad, you know, rust everywhere. These cars rot on every panel. And the other one, we were just slightly adrift on price. And then every time I found one, be it on Facebook Marketplace, eBay or Car and Classic, if I wasn't quick off the mark, the car's gone. This one popped up on a Wednesday evening. I was sitting at home, I think I was watching football at home, Champions League, and this popped up on eBay. I think within 30 minutes of the auction going live, I'd messaged the seller, interested in the car, can you send me some more pics? He sent me some pics. Obviously realized the location, he was in Yorkshire, and said, right, I'll contact you Thursday morning, we'll do a FaceTime video. Thursday morning, FaceTime video with the owner, Lee, and he went around the car, showed every panel, did a cold start, started on the key, showed the engine bay, showed me loads of service history, WhatsApped me loads of pictures of the service history. This car has virtually every MOT going back to 1993, I think. This is a 1990 Renault 5 GT Turbo. So every MOT, loads of service history, and I'll go through that shortly. Quickly did a HPI check while he was on the phone, car come back clear. And you know what? Done the deal there and then blind and said, right, I'll ping you over a deposit. As the car was in Yorkshire, I was unable to get up there and collect the car. I contacted a customer of ours who has a trailer. He went up on the Friday, so the day after I had sent the deposit, checked the car over for me, checked the paperwork, the VIN number, the engine number, and also the car started and ran well. On his say-so, I transferred the funds over to the seller and the deal was concluded. So thank you to Faisal of Auto Rescue and Recovery for the awesome service in collecting and delivering the car over to me in Hayes. Finally, one thing I've got to say is that I've realized over the last few months, especially with classic cars, is that if you see a car pop up for sale, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Car and Classic, wherever, and it's priced attractively, you really need to drop everything you're doing, be very quick off the mark, and get that deal done. Otherwise, that car will be sold. Let's show you this engine bay. That's pretty clean for a car that's best part of 31 years old. So that's the engine, pretty clean actually. And so is the car externally, very clean. Now, those of you that know these classic cars, they are renowned for rust. This particular car in 2017 was stripped back. All the plastics were removed, so all your arches and all your side sills. loads of rust treatment. It's had new sills. It's had some sections of the floor plan cut away and obviously replaced, and then repainted. And I've got to say, the car does look very good. You could see on some areas of the roof it needs a polish, so in the new year we'll get it all polished up and just get that white paintwork absolutely gleaming. One thing I didn't realize about Renault 5 GT Turbos is they have a choke, because they have carbs that run on carbs. I had a Pug 19 back in the day, with fuel injected, get into the car, start it. A couple of my friends had Renault 5 Turbos and I didn't realize they had a choke. So yeah, this has got a choke. Very, very, very unusual. Guys, check out these bad boy 13-inch rims. I know, 13-inch wheels. Back in the day, we thought those were cool. Now they just look like silly bike wheels. Interior-wise, this car is absolutely mint on the inside. As you can see, the carpet's been refreshed, the seats, the door cards, they've all been refreshed. Even the dash, no cracks in the dash. Again, a very common problem with these classic cars, because they used to sit outside on people's driveways. The sun would just beat down on the dash and crack it. This is a pretty clean, in fact, this is a very, very, very clean interior. One other thing, acoustic shelf. This actually has an acoustic shelf which is intact. That's this. Now back in the day, everyone used to chop their shelves up and put 6B9s on the shelves. The shelf would then bow and obviously just give way. This has actually got a factory standard acoustic shelf. Try and buy one of these shelves now, like £400 or £500 just for a rear shelf. So yeah, that's the car, pretty clean. Just needs some light restoration work, very light restoration work. When I mean restoration, I don't mean paint, I really mean polishing and so on. So what are the plans for my Renault 5 GT Turbo? Well, before you guys say it, no, I am not converting this into some Ali G mad spec. It is not happening. I know Feltham is just like down the road from us, 5 miles away or so, but no. For those of you that don't know what I mean by Ali G spec, you'll see it on the screen now. I'm not putting some body kit on this car. I'm not changing it into some weird color. I'm not gonna have furry dice hanging from the rear view mirror. It's not happening, guys, so stop there. Plans. First and foremost, we need to lower the car. That's after, obviously, we've detailed it. Need to lower the car a little bit, some springs, coilovers, whatever that may be. Also, a sympathetic audio upgrade, change the stereo and the speakers. Obviously, I'm not cutting that rear shelf. Needs security, it has 0 security, so Clifford Concept 650 alarm, which is, everyone used Cliffords back in the day, so we're going to use a Clifford on this as well. And then it's going to go on the mezzanine floor in the new car with security showroom. So the Mark II Golf and the Pug 19 will come down. This will go on the mezzanine floor. But obviously I can't have one car on the mezzanine floor because there's space for 2. So what other car? Well, I actually don't have the other car yet, and this is where hopefully you guys can help. I am looking for a Escort RS Turbo Series 1 ideally, because they all came in white. So if you know of one for sale, I don't want a restoration project because parts are becoming very difficult to source and I just don't have the time. But I don't mind something that needs a little bit of light restoration, some engine TLC and so on. So if anyone knows or anyone has a Series 1 Turbo for sale, drop me a message or email Car Security. All the details are down below. Also looking for a Escort Cosworth to sit alongside the Clio. Ideally the later, smaller turbo model, but I'll consider anything. Again, I don't want a restoration project, just don't have the time. So yeah, if you have anyone or you know anyone or you yourself have 1 or 2 of those cars to sell, just drop us a message. Trailer queens, I don't want a trailer queen. You know, if you're gonna want, or if you know that somebody who's got like a 10,000 mile Escort RS Cosworth, sorry, it's not for me, because I'm not going to pay silly amounts of money for a car. I'll pay market value. So guys, thank you for watching this episode, the reveal of our 2 French cars. I think they're absolutely fantastic, cool cars. Can't wait to get in the Clio and give it some beans. Any questions, any comments, as always guys, just drop them below. If anyone has or can recommend a good mechanic that can look after both of these French cars, let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you think of these cars. Did you own a Renault 5 GT Turbo back in the day, or did you own a Clio V6? It'd be nice to hear from you guys and hear your story. Has anyone got an Ali G spec Renault 5 GT Turbo out there? Maybe bring it to one of our classic car and coffee events that we'll have in 2022 at the new showroom. We will, obviously, now that we've got 4 hot hatches, we will have a car and coffee hot hatch event. So yeah, make sure you get those classic hot hatches out next year and bring them over to our car and coffee meets. As always, guys, smash the like button below, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. You know, all of that stuff. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you like these 2 cars, and I'll see you again very soon on the channel.